All right, boys and girls, welcome back. Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Got 3 cups of coffee in me and a Trijicon SRO. We're gonna make this happen. Let's do it. All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to be hanging out today with this Trijicon SRO. Now, we've done a video on the Smith & Wesson Performance Center 9L. This is a ported gun with a 5.5 inch barrel. Really, really great gun. I really like this pistol, and I had this particular one set up with an RMR. I went through Big Daddy Unlimited and found a great price on this SRO, so we thought that we'd pick one up. A lot of folks have been checking them out, and just sort of have a look at it and compare and contrast this new Optic versus the RMR. Now, this is the RMR that came off of it, okay? Now, they're not gonna stop making the RMR, but the RMR and the SRO are 2 very different sights in terms of their overall intended purpose. And I'll say to some degree, maybe in terms of the robustness as well, okay? The SRO has a much larger field of view compared to the RMR. The SRO has had some reports of, you know, if you drop them, it can crack the glass pretty easy. So I would say it's not quite as much of a duty type optic or a, you know, throw in the ground and do crazy things with optic so much as the RMR is. So the RMR is probably a more robust unit than the SRO. But it does pick up nice. I do notice that the bore axis of this particular sight is much higher in terms of how much higher it sits. Now, even though the gun is sighted in to be looking where the iron sights are looking, and these iron sights are high suppressor sights, they still sit really low in the optic. So with the way that the sight picture picks up, if you do have to kind of treat it a little bit differently, but if you just look where that dot is, generally the round's gonna go about where you're looking. You have to sort of retrain yourself just a little bit, but it's really not that big of a deal. Now, one of the major things that they did different, you don't have to pull the sight off of the physical gun itself to change the battery out. The old sight, the battery's located up underneath, and you have to pull the sight out in order to change the battery. Some people may not like that. Another thing that they did, the screw heads seem a little bit more robust. They switched to a Torx unit, whereby the other screws are a little bit smaller of a Allen key head. If you're not careful, you can strip the screws out if you go to tightening down on them too much. So them switching to a Torx style gives you a lot more surface to bite the bit down into to get them to bite in nice and strong. So that's one thing I noticed. It's a 2.5 MOA, okay? So a 2.5 MOA dot. You can really, you know, get down to some really good feats of accuracy with this thing if you get that dot brightness down really, really low and get it real fine. You can shoot tiny groups with it. Earlier we were sighting it in and was shooting pretty good. This is some Aguila 115 grain ball. We're not really running anything overly fantastic in terms of ammo, but a really cool optic overall. We wanted to kind of compare them. Like I said, I think the longevity might be something that some people could be concerned about in terms of, you know, if it takes a direct hit in that direction straight down, if you were to drop it. Some folks have reported the glass breaking and everything like that. Trying to think if there's anything else. The price is actually a little bit higher than RMR, so they're not cheap. It's not like a cheaper option. It's just a different option. Now, this would be a really cool optic to put on like an AR riser or something like that, or a Picatinny, you know, riser for a standard RMR, and put it on like a little 9mm carbine or a short, maybe an AR-22 or even a 5.56, you know, 12.5 inch barrel gun or something like that. If you want a CQB type gun, keep it nice and lightweight. And also when you're kind of scanning around, looking down, if you keep both eyes open, you get a really good field of view through this optic too, which that gives you a slight edge over the original RMR. And they're not going to stop making the RMR. And you know the RMR has been around a long time. And this particular optic is great. Okay, I really do enjoy shooting these RMRs, and they are very lightweight. So as a slide rider, I would imagine this optic is a little more low profile. That's one thing I noticed too with the slightly higher axis on this SRO. Okay, really cool stuff. I'm gonna shoot a little bit more. This is, again, M&P mags we're running. Okay, Just gonna take out some targets, have some fun, guys. And we'll talk a little bit more as we go. It is a standard RMR footprint. So all of your RMR slide rider plates or your RMR pick rail adapters or any of your other adapters that you've got, it's the same exact footprint. So they stuck with the same pattern there. You don't have to buy special accessories to use it. All right, come on, coffee. They're all giving me crap because I've been hopped up on coffee today. That's okay. I mean, it shoots right where it's looking. All right, these are 24, I think, round mags, 24 round M&P mags with the Terran Tactical base plates on them. I mean, this is kind of a 3-gun setup, you know what I mean? That's what I was going for with it. Man builds 3-gun pistol, does not shoot 3-gun, grasshopper. But I've got one, you know? Cool. Very cool. All right, Mr. Gopher. I know you got all those delicious watermelon remnants down there on the ground with you, but it's going to be your day. First shot. I got you. I'm not going to miss. I'm not going to miss. Grasshopper. You think that coffee's got me all jacked up here. You're wrong. Okay, 35 yards. Oh no. Got him. Oh yeah. 35 yards. Yeah, I really like this pistol, and that's why I wanted to change the optic out on this one from the RMR over to the SRO just to try it, because this is the handgun I was the most used to using an RMR, I'm sorry, on. It's a cool setup, okay? Holding a 0 just fine. Looks like it's holding up good. I mean, I just used the factory locking compound that was on the screws and just torqued them down to specified torque and zeroed it, okay? A lot of folks were asking about the sight height and the co-witnessing aspect. Now, the thing is, the gun is going to shoot where it's looking, and if the sights are in line with where the gun's looking, well then if you line those iron sights up with where the dot's sitting on top of the sights, well then that's where the dot's going to hit. So the thing is when you point this thing, it's empty right now, I'm just going to point it. If I point it and just, I know it's strange, but if you just treat it like a red dot and just pretend the iron sights aren't there, that's where these sights excel, okay? Also, if you're weak-handed or something, or let's say you're practicing like, you know, holstering and drawing and charging the weapon weak-handed or something like that, you can charge this thing off the table. You can charge it off your belt, right? I can charge it off my elbow if I want to, it doesn't matter, see? It gives you a bit of leverage to be able to charge the gun, okay? So that's one nice thing about that extra real estate up there. And the way that that glass is sort of recessed in there, you don't have to worry quite so much about beating it up too bad. It's just the reports I've seen is it can't take a hit really, really hard like this, straight down, okay? So you can charge with it if you want. So slide riders kind of have their use. It just depends on what your overall take on that is. And I was explaining to Chad earlier, and I think I'm right. Maybe you guys can tell me if I'm right, if I'm wrong, okay? But you think about an arch, okay? An archway. An arch has its strength at the uppermost part of the arch because the weight is getting put down on the top of the arch, and all that weight's being distributed from the top all the way down to the base of the arch. So the base of the arch holds the weight and the uppermost point of the arch holds the weight. So if you look at the top of the RMR, you see that it's a reverse arch. So what happens if this RMR takes a hit really hard directly down in the spot that the SRO would fail, right? It's taking the hit on the legs of the arch, and the upmost part of the arch is furthest away from the glass. So it just seems to me that not only that, but a combination of the way this glass is made and those arches, the little feet of the inverted arch, gives it a lot of strength because the material is real thick right there. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just my view of it now. The SRO is cool. I think it'd be one of those things you probably just want to try it out and see if it's something you like. You know, maybe if you got a buddy that's got one, or if the local range has maybe got a rental gun with one of these on it, you can try out. Be cool to be able to test both and see which one you like more. I'm partial to the Trijicons in terms of a pistol sight. I think they definitely are the industry standard for this type of thing. So for what that's worth, it's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna shoot a few more mags, guys, let you get back to your day. This is just meant to be a quick comparison between the RMR. I keep thinking MRO. There's all these abbreviations, all these acronyms and stuff, okay? But it's not the coffee, I swear. It's been a long day and I'm out here in the hot sun today. But I thought it'd be cool to compare the RMR to the SRO. Okay. Just having a little bit of fun. And it's the same gun that I've been running the RMR on, so neat stuff. I don't think you'd really go wrong with either one. You know, Trijicon doesn't really tout this optic as like a, you know, combat duty, rough use type of optic. I think they're probably going more towards the 3-gunners and competitive shooters, things like that. Now look, you know, a shotgun riding this thing or a pistol goes down into a drop barrel or a drop box or something like that and gets hit too hard, maybe it could damage it, maybe not, but time will tell. You know, these are still pretty new, but it'll be cool to see how they hold up. And all right, let's have a little fun here. All right, good stuff. Guys, I'm just slinging lead. I'm not trying to, you know, prove anything here, but these guns certainly are really accurate, and that's why I wanted to use this platform to test it. It does take a little bit of getting used to. It is kind of a large sight. It's got a large field of view. You sort of have to change up your shooting style a little bit. It really works best just kind of opening both eyes and just really paying attention to what's down range and just trying to control that trigger and just sort of looking through it. Not through it, but through it, like looking past it. Does that make sense? Much in the way that the original ACOGs are really developed anyway. It was intended to be a 2 eyes open style of shooting, and I think that's where these things excel. Don't look at the sights, don't look at the gun, don't even think about the dot. Just look at the target and just train getting that thing up and just kind of look through it. Does that make sense? And I find that that's where this thing excels, and with some practice, you can really throw some stuff downrange with these things. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Definitely want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for believing in us, believing in what we do. All the folks who purchase Man Cans, which is a mystery box that we sell every month. You guys are awesome. Thank you. If you purchase shirts over on the website, all the funds we earn that we get in terms of support from you guys goes right back into producing these videos. So thank you so much for supporting us and believing in us. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Many more videos on the way.